One of the things that I often get asked by clients is how do I maintain the results in between visits, or if I have to go traveling or whatever. And the real answer is that there's two ways, with movement and with self-myofascial release. So you can do some of the work that I do on table sessions yourself. Doesn't work for every area of the body, because there are some super sensitive areas that I wouldn't be releasing or putting too much pressure through. But for the bigger areas, like for your quads or for your back, whatever, then you can do some of the work yourself. What you'll need is some tools. So everything from balls. So I've got a variety of different sized balls. And the thing about the balls is that, well, this is the exception. This is just like a super ball or a high bounce ball, whatever you call them. This one is pretty hard, so this is the exception to the rule. But these balls are pretty soft, and they're sticky, so they got some grip to them, and that's important. I'll explain why first of all in a sec. Sorry. This guy is, it's obviously a foam roller, but it's super spiky, and again I'll explain why in a sec. And then foam, like yoga block thing, nothing special about that. So the reason that you want grip is because in the way that I do the myofascial release, the self-myofascial release anyway, is to have the whichever implement you've got grip onto some of the superficial tissue and essentially rip it away from the tissue underneath. And without that grip, then you're not going to get that effect. So some of the foam rollers you can get are slippery, so they don't actually have the same effect. This one is grip on steroids, because obviously those spikes will sink into the tissue and then they will really grip on quite nice and strongly, so it will tease away from the tissue. Other things you need to know before embarking on self-myofascial release is that the way that it works is that the fascial or the connective tissue depends on your level of hydration. So really good idea to stay hydrated, so that the tissue it has the space, like the water fills in between the little fibers of the collagen fibers in the connective tissue to space it out, and without that then they become a bit of a tangled mess. These techniques that I will show you are about detangling, and to make sure that they detangle properly, then you need to stay hydrated. One of the analogies that I use is that of a sponge. So the connective tissue is kind of like a sponge. A dry sponge doesn't soak up water very well. A moist sponge does particularly well, and the way that you get it to soak up the water is by squeezing it and releasing it. Squeezing and releasing. So that's one of the mechanisms that we're going to use. And the other one is the releasing the adhesions by shear. So grip and rip. Yeah, so that's about all you need to know before embarking on this little into this little video course. Hope you enjoy it. There's lots in there. You can make some serious indents into your mobility and to feeling younger by using these techniques on a pretty regular basis. And along those lines, probably say 3 times a week, something like that. Doesn't have to be very long, but it does have to be regular. So that, as well as move. You want to move because movement is medicine. So there you go. That's your recipe for feeling younger. Move and self-myofascial release. And if you need extra help, then obviously come and see me.